Hello everyone, welcome to Tutorials in Hand. In this video tutorial, we are going to see how to write a program in C language to convert paisa to rupees. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. So in order to write the program, we are going to use VS Code, but you can choose any IDE of your own choice. Now let's quickly move to VS Code. So firstly, let's create a new file and let the file name be simply conversion p2r .c. Since this is going to be our C program file, that's why it's having the extension of .c. Had the file been Python, then the extension would have been .py. Now what we have to do is, so first of all, let's understand the things that we are going to do or the logic that we have to apply. So the program says to convert the total paise to rupees, right? Now let's take an example. So let's say you have 435 and we ask you to convert it to rupees. So what you will do? You will divide this by 100 and the quotient will be rupees and the remainder would be your paise. So from this what I mean is, so let's say if you divide this by 400, so your quotient would be what? It would be 4 and your remainder would be what? So it for remainder we know it's modulus, so remainder would be what? 35. And finally when you convert it, so it will look like this. 4, we will say 4 rupees 35 paise, right? So this is the overall calculation that we are going to do. That is, whatever the amount or whatever the paise the user will provide, we will divide it by 100, and the quotient that we will get, so that will be the initial, that will be the amount or that will be the rupee, and the remainder that we will get, that will be the paise. And finally we will concat it and we will print the result like this. So this is the overall calculation or the programming logic that we are going to apply. Now let's start writing the program. So we know first of all we have to import certain header files, and in this program or in most of the C program, the very first package or the very first header file that we have to import or we have to include basically is stereo.h. So let's include that. Now let's start our main method. Now let's have a variable that will store the user entered amount in paise. So let it be simply TP, which represents nothing but total paise, and let's print something. Now this particular line will be displayed in the terminal, right? So the user will be notified that yeah, they need to enter the total paise. So let's see if he or she has entered certain paise. So we as a program are interested to store that paise, right? So that we can do it with the help of scanf. And since this paise would be in integer type, that's why let's have a modulus d, and we will give ampersand tp. That is, we are telling to store the amount or the total paise that the user is providing inside my tp variable, right? So as of now we have got the total paise that the user wants to get converted. Now we are interested in converting the things up. So let's have two variables. The first variable will store my quotient, that is the rupee, and the second will store my paise part. So let's have two variable. We could have initialized here as well, and let's initialize, that will look fine. So let the variable be simply rs, which will represent nothing but the rupees, and let the second one would be simply ep, which would nothing represent nothing but the passive part. Now what we have to do is we have to simply store the things. So my rupees, how we are getting rupees? So we are getting rupees by dividing TP by 100. That is, we are storing this quotient to the rupees part. And how we are getting this passive part? So this we are getting by finding the remainder of it, and in programming we know how we can get the remainder of two numbers, and that is with the help of modulo operator. So with this percent symbol, if you talk in general terms, then with this percent symbol we will get the remainder of two numbers. That is, if we write 435 percentage 100, so this basically means that whatever the remainder will come, so store it into that. So over here in this situation we will store the percentage, the remainder actually of we will actually store the remainder into EP. So as of now, we are ready with 4 and 35. Now, our last work is to print it like this. So let's have the printf function and let's print the things up. So let's give a comment like converted paisa to rupees is. Now let's format up the things rs space. Now how you will give? So you will give modulus d dot modulus d. Right? Now let's write the things that needs to be replaced in modulus d. So what would be the first part? So first part would be my this portion which is over here rs. So let's give it, and then comma. What would be the second part? That is what would my second modulus d would be replaced by. So it should be replaced by ep. So let's write like this. Now let's end up the things by writing simply return 0, and let's hit enter and see everything working. See, it's asking me to enter the total price, and let's take this example as well, which was 435. Let's give 435, and boom, here you can see that converted paise to rupees is 4.35. Now let's try out with another test case. So this time let the total amount of paise would be simply 555, and boom, here you can see that the total amount converted is 5 rupees and 55 paise. So this is how we can convert paise to rupees in C program. I hope you understood the things very clearly, but still if you have any doubt, then feel free to drop it down in the comment section. We will surely try to solve it as soon as possible. So this was all about the video. Thank you so much.